Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. So today I would like to talk about, having the courage to make decisions, to do things, to move along in life, and then getting that courage from mentors. So uh, today's about courage, but it's also about mentorship and being a mentor and seeking mentors. And I think without mentors, we just, we're making things up. It's no different than kids going to school and us expecting them to know everything at school. They're at school to get mentorship and learn. And, that should be how our whole life is. So let's talk about having the courage and gaining that courage through mentorship. Shall we? I think we shall. All right, let's do it.
Welcome. You are listening to I Have Questions with Michael Rulland.
Have you ever asked a question, been in a classroom, been curious, or ever wanted to teach and learn? Then you're in the right place. Because I have questions. I am very passionate about being curious, about being educated, and most importantly, about having questions. Join me on this journey as I share stories, talk to some fun and inspiring people, gain insights to being a better teacher, better student, and maybe even a better human. I am very passionate about being curious, about being educated, and most importantly, about having questions. I hope you're ready because
I have questions. All right. So, as I said, I think having the courage to do stuff kind of starts with having good mentors through life, right? I've had good mentors in pretty much every single thing I've done. First, my mom and dad were amazing mentors. They showed all of us kids that we could do anything and be anything we want, no matter where we came from, right? And so that's super important. Number one. And then number two, along the way, when I was in the National Guard military, I had mentors each step of the way that I looked up to and helped me get to where I was. And then every bit of my business acumen came from people that helped me along the way. Teaching was absolutely no different. In fact, to this day, I still have people who I consider great mentors in every aspect of my teaching career. So I'm thoroughly bought into being mentors. We have a little organization out here that actually provides mentors to the school system, to kids who need somebody to lean on. And sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not. I think clearly the act of having a good mentor starts with the person seeking a mentor, right? We can't really force it on them either. So that's a big deal. But today I want to talk to somebody who, she's amazing. She's driven, but she openly will tell you that mentors pushed her along the way. And I want to talk to her about that. And so I think that's what we should do, don't you? All right, let's do it. Yeah, as promised, me and my St. Patrick's Day background are here for you guys. This obviously isn't coming out on St. Patrick's Day. You know that, but it's pretty much St. Patrick's Day when Maggie and I are talking. So today, as promised, you're done listening to me yabble along. So today, we are going to chat with someone who you will find is just a breath of fresh air every time they enter your space. This person is currently the executive assistant to the superintendent of Riverview School District. There's a mouthful for you. Before this, she started trading stocks after graduating with a finance degree from Seattle University. She moved from there to being more of a people person, as you'll find out, than a numbers person, and started as a recruiter for a major national company which we won't name. She'll probably name, but I won't name. When she got tired of that, she decided to merge all of her interests of numbers and people and learning and growing into this position at Riverview. And I, for one, think Riverview is so lucky that she decided to do that. I've happened to have known her since she was in high school, and I just love her for her drive and determination. She had it then, she has it now, but she's had all those things with the added flair of always being there and being a force of good for everyone she's touched. In fact, for those of you that follow me long enough on this podcast, she's the reason I've done this to your life. So, blame her. The thing that I love about her most, though, is that she is absolutely driven to learn. And when she started at Riverview, she did something I hadn't seen before in my time. And that was she sat in on professional development sessions. She asked questions and genuinely wanted to know the inner workings of our administrative work as principals. I was so impressed and thrilled. And I am so happy to welcome Miss Maggie Gronberg to the show. Maggie, how are you doing?
Wow, what an intro. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I'm doing great.
Of
Thanks for
course.
having me on the show.
Awesome. You had a 17-hour drive home from work today. So, holy,
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, but better you than me.
Yeah. Especially when it floods. That's been fun. But
yes. For the people who aren't out here, I live in the Snoqualmie Valley, and our school district is there, and Maggie works there. And when it floods, it becomes an island, and to and fro is not the easiest thing. So, and right now we're recovering from some snow and last week, and now it's super duper warm weather and rain this week. So that adds up to
it's been fun.
Yay.
All right, we're living the dream. It's great.
We're living the dream. There we go. Well, Maggie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I hope so, because
I have questions.
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 I pity the fool that doesn't have questions, which I do.
Because I have questions. All right, Maggie. As I introduced you, I very quickly went through a broad description of your career, and you were successful in moving and grooving and doing your thing, but obviously not really satisfied. So you had the courage to keep looking. I talk a lot about courage on my show. Where did you get that courage from to keep looking for a career that best suited you?
Yeah, it's so funny because you say courage, but I don't know if I would name it courage right off the bat, more as like a general instinct of like something's not aligned. So you mentioned I like traded stocks right after graduation. I worked super hard for this fancy, sexy degree to be in economics and finance and got the dream job of waking up on the East Coast time and trading stocks. Then you get in the job and you're like, oh crap, this is not for me. And so you have a choice. You could stay in that lane and continue, or you can pivot. And I think I've known kind of who I am at the core for most of my life. I feel some people say I'm really confident, but I think that just is attributed to me knowing what I like and knowing what I don't like. And so when I know I don't like something, I don't think it's necessarily courage. I think it's more of like, how do I get to be doing things that I do like? So I pivoted and I went into recruiting because I thought, okay, what are the things in college that I actually did enjoy that I think I could turn into a career? And I was like, well, I love talking to people, and I was in a business fraternity and I did recruiting for a business fraternity. So it's like, let's pivot to recruiting. And then when that doesn't, no longer makes me happy, let's pivot to something else. And I think some people think that can be really scary to switch careers. And don't get me wrong, it was very scary for me too. I left Amazon actually when I was working with my boss for a promotion. So when I told her I was leaving, she was like, what? Like, why? So yeah, it's really scary, but I think at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you and make sure that, your job is not only paying the bills and doing what it can to, provide a future for you, but you got to have some level of enjoyment out of it because it's your life, and your life, you only get one. So I don't know if that's courage
Yeah.
or not.
You know, I'm just gonna tell you straight out there, Missy, that's courage. And
Okay.
I think you hit it on the head though. But I think part of why you don't really combine it with courage is, quite frankly, because I think you were raised with parents and a community of people that instilled that in you from the beginning. And
Yeah.
so when you talk about it, to you, it's natural, right?
Hmm.
It's what comes second nature. And I think the fact is that for every one of you that went, oh, I hate the stock market, there's
Yeah.
probably 10 others that I hate the stock market, but it's what I do, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think, you know, uh, I that's why I love you. Good on you,
I think
right?
I think it's hard though because like I guess I will say because there was a lot of fear in doing that because you're trained, especially in college and the environment I was in and like the business school, you're trained to like this is what you do. This is your path. You get this degree, then you get this type of job, and then you get this sort of add-on and certification and blah 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 blah. And so for me, right out the gate, less than a year into a job from graduation, my parents who are super supportive of me, they were like, "What are you doing? Like, why are
Yep.
you leaving this job? Like, you work so hard for this." So yeah, it's one of those things where I wish we had a like a college system that wasn't so set on having kids just decide their whole life plan when they're 18 because you just
Yep.
don't know. And then we need to teach people that it's okay to change. It's okay if your life pivots. It's probably going to pivot. So instead of bracing for the change, going, "Oh my gosh, I did something wrong," I wish we had a society that was more like, "Hey, by the way, you're going to have multiple changes. This is how you navigate it." And I just think we're
Yep.
lacking that and how we prepare our youth.
Yep. I think it's coming. I do. And
Yeah.
I mean, uh, we it's funny how, time, the spectrum of time gets lost on us. I think it wasn't that
Yeah.
long ago when, our my parents for sure got out of school, found their career, retired
Hmm.
from their career, right?
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that's clearly not the world we have, and it's not the mentality we have as a society. And so I
Hmm.
think it takes a while to roll that boulder out of the way
Sure.
all the time, right?
Yeah.
But it's happening, and I'm glad it is,
Hmm.
because you're
Yeah.
right.
Me too.
It's I didn't know what I want. I mean, geez, I think back, if I would have been a teacher right out of college, oh my gosh, thank God for all those
Yeah.
kids that didn't have to go through that. Um, so, all right, so
Nonsense.
yeah, yeah, trust me. So we brought up your parents and your boss, and so you and I brought up, I think you've had this incredible network of mentors. So when you
Mhm.
think back on all the people, you know, that believed in you and helped you, what what do you think they did differently that's had such a lasting impact on you?
Yeah, I think I'd say like the common thread among I've been very lucky to have a lot of mentors in my life, but I think the common thread that they all instilled in me is to swing big and go for something that maybe you feel a little bit uncomfortable with, but like have confidence in your ability. That's a phrase that my dad would say to me all the time growing up of like you have to have confidence in yourself that you're going to figure it out. So try
Yeah.
and then allow yourself to figure it out. But you never know unless if you try and just, yeah, like I had so many mentors in high school who also pushed me outside of the box if I didn't maybe think I could do it, but they would give me the opportunity to try and push myself to the next level. And so constantly having people show up for me and
Hmm.
encourage me to go to the next step, and whatever that may be, education, sports, personal life, and just personal growth and development. Like I've always felt that my mentors have not allowed me to just settle. And so with
Yeah.
that, I've had the mindset and mentality of I can do whatever I set my mind to.
Yeah.
And it's really pushed me, I think, definitely outside my comfort zone, but I guess
Yeah.
it's paid off.
Well, I, I don't know if any of us really know if what we do
Yeah.
pay off or not. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I think all we can do is get home at the end of the day and be content and know that we did what we could.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think I always, I was very reflective all the time too. And,
Hmm.
I don't know. I wasn't a very positive reflector though, unfortunately.
Mm.
I was always like, oh, I should have done this and I could have done this and I could have done
Yeah.
that. So, um, I think as I look back, I wish I could go back and tell myself and the kid and you guys as kids
Hmm.
a little more positive version of it. But,
Yeah,
so
it's something I struggle with too. I'm very hard on myself, so
yeah, yeah,
working on that.
yeah. It's a work in progress, isn't it?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah. So, so I guess now that you're thankfully you're closer to the kid stage than the old person stage than I am. So I'm going to ask you because I don't remember,
Okay.
you know, talking about mentors and
Hmm.
getting that confidence and courage to push themselves. Why do you think that kind of belief from the adults is so powerful for kids and students, right? Coming from parents and
Yeah,
teachers and community members.
I think it's hard because, I mean, when you're, whether you're in middle school or high school or college, young adult, like whatever it is, you're constantly comparing yourself to your peers. And so, and people can be nasty, and it's just, it's always a a mindset of, they have this and I don't have this, or they're good at that and I'm not good at that. It's People put so much pressure on themselves at any age, but especially when they're young. And so to then have someone that maybe you look up to that is at a higher level, or that you think made it, or whatever it is, fill in the blank, to have someone that you've validated and given credentials in your mind to then tell you, no, you got this. It feels, I would say, comforting as someone that's younger, to know that someone does believe in you, to block out the noise of maybe other people or your own
Hmm.
self thoughts. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like, and that's obviously just my opinion. I'm sure not everyone maybe is as hard as on themselves as I am, but I know for me, when I was growing up, to constantly have multiple people from different lines, like what I talked about, like I had my parents, I also had teachers, I had a fantastic volleyball coach. He really believed in me. To have multiple people from multiple facets just say, yeah, you got this, like it convinces yourself, like, oh hey, yeah, maybe I do, and
Hmm.
I don't need to worry about comparing myself to my peers. I just need to focus on me. So I think they have the power to really unlock the confidence that their peers are not going to unlock, because even if your best friend in middle school says, oh Maggie, you're really good at this, like you should do this, or tries to give you the confidence, it's great, but it's not that weight that makes you
Hmm.
truly believe it. It's more of just like, oh wow, that friend is so nice. So to have
Yeah.
adult mentorship for youth, it's so validating, and I really think
Yeah.
it sets people up to believe in themselves.
Awesome. So, the next iteration of that question is
Hmm.
now, as someone who's an adult in the working world, do
Yeah,
you still lean on mentors?
yeah, 100%. It's
100%.
Yeah, it's funny because I think for a while there, I didn't have um like a true professional mentor that I had like designated, so to speak. There was lots of
Mm-hmm.
people in my life that I feel like I could go to for advice, but I didn't have like a true set mentor. And so it was actually this fall that I'm like, it's been a while. I need to like find a mentor again. So I actually just found a professional mentor to help me navigate the next step in my life and figure out what I want
Mm-hmm.
to do moving forward. And I think it's really important for folks, no matter what stage you are in life, to constantly be editing and evolving and thinking about, who's the person that I want to be and how do I want to show up. And part of that conversation is an outside perspective to bounce ideas
Yeah.
off of, because I sometimes don't know, or maybe I have five different ideas and I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, oh gosh, there's so many options. And having a
Yeah.
mentor to kind of ground you and help you navigate, like, okay, this might be the smart path, or if you choose this path, here are these five things to take into consideration that I had to go through at that stage of my life. It's just helpful to have that
Yeah.
second input. So yeah, I love my mentor. I've love all the other adults. I say adults as if I'm a kid. I'm an adult. I'm an adult too, but
Yeah.
I love all the mentors that I have in my life. I feel very lucky to just be surrounded by so many people that are willing to give their time and energy into me and to invest in me and my future.
So the the question that pops up in my head as you're sharing that is, you know, are you do you think that you attract mentors because of your mindset, or do you think that they just happen to be there at the right time? So, like, I mean, for a lot of people,
Um,
asking for help or advice is hard, right? And
yeah.
I mean, this whole thing we've talked about how you've always kind of had mentorship along the way. So, do you think
hmm
it's internal in you, or did you learn how to use it, or is it
I
something
think it's a
everybody
mixture of
can do?
both, because like I think for me, and maybe this is just my own experience, but I think when I was growing up at, like, I'll keep talking about the middle school and high school ages, but even at the elementary age, if I think about it now, I think I was always comfortable talking to adults. So I think
Mm,
I was able to have maybe some deeper conversations with people that maybe my peers weren't able to, or
yeah.
maybe not able to, but maybe just didn't seek out because they didn't
Yep.
think like, oh, this is a person I can talk to about XYZ. So I feel like, I don't know if it's necessarily I attracted the mentors, but I think it's more of like I opened the opportunity to have conversations.
Yep.
And conversations, I mean, it's networking at the end of the day. If you have a conversation, you never know where it could take you. So
Yep.
I think, talking to my volleyball coach on a deeper level, and then that turning into a mentorship, talking to people like Tracy Kelly when she was my English teacher in high school, that grew into a deeper
Yep.
relationship. I had conversations. But then later in life, I think because I've gained so much value from my mentors earlier on, I think I've seen the benefit of what it can do in your life. So then I've sought it out. And so
Perfect.
I think
Yeah.
it's very easy to just sit back and go, oh, I don't want to bother someone. Um, and that is true. I think a lot of people don't like to ask for help. I will be the first to say I hate asking for help.
Yeah.
But I think in this setting, I think I just know how important it can be. And so I tell myself, like, if someone really truly has too much on their plate, they'll say, no, I can't have coffee with you, or no, I can't, like, I'm too
Yeah.
busy. But you never know unless you ask.
Yep. Nice. Yeah. There. That we should exclamation point. You never know unless you ask.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should stop right there. So, so I'm a little left turn here for you.
hmm
So, some conversations with mentors and bosses and peers, they're all different, but they're all about learning, in my opinion.
hmm
And some of them are comfortable learning, and
hmm
some of them are you're being pushed into a little bit of discomfort, in
hmm
your learning. In your world, which do you think you've learned from the most? The teachers and peers and mentors who are keeping you comfortable and doing their thing, or the ones who kind of push you out into the rain a little bit?
I would say definitely the latter of the people
Yeah.
that push you. It's very funny because I don't know. So you mentioned me working for a large company. I worked for Amazon. Um, say what you want about Amazon. I had
Yeah.
a good experience. I was very lucky to have a great experience for 5 years there. But I will be the first to say it was very intense, and some conversations with bosses or coworkers or different business partners, it was intense. You get feedback, but then on the flip side, it also taught me to be able to then give that feedback as well. So I ended up being the person on the team where people would come to and say, "Hey, can you say that in the meeting because I'm too afraid, but I know you'll say it because you're blunt."
Mm.
And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure, I'll say it." So you just kind of learn that it's better to just get to the point, and maybe it may come across as critical or more constructive, but if there's a way to say it and go about it where you can be kind and still get some change out of it. So I found that when people gave my first year at Amazon, some people were giving me some intense feedback. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did something wrong. What am I doing? And I like to succeed. I like to win. I like to be good at my job. And so when that was happening right off the bat, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I am just not cut out for this. I'm gonna fail. And my boss at the time would be like, no, this is just how you build partnership. Like you get on the same page, you talk about what works, you talk about growth opportunities, and you just be honest with each other, be blunt. So yeah, I find that the mentors, the coworkers, the bosses, the people in my life who have the courage and ability to tell me straight how it is, I value those relationships so much because I'd rather have that than someone just be, happy to my face, and meanwhile in the back of their head they're like, oh my gosh, what is she doing with this? Or
Yeah.
I really want to tell her this, but I'm nervous and afraid, so I'm going to just let her look like an idiot. Like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
just find that honesty is the best policy, and there's a way to deliver feedback that can be constructive, and at the end of the day, I want to improve. I want to be the best version of myself. So I try to operate that way with how I am with my coworkers and my peers. I try to give them honest feedback because I want the same in return.
Yeah. Nice. Good answer.
Yeah. Thanks.
Very good answer.
No
Okay.
pressure.
No pressure. I know. I was hoping that was going to be the answer, if that's any consolation.
Yeah.
So a little of the Army basic training came out in me right there.
Yeah,
Yes.
tough love.
So, tough love, baby. Tough love.
Yeah.
All right. So, to wrap all this up, okay? I'm going to do just another. This isn't a little veer off to the left. This is a U-turn on the world here, okay? So I'm not going to give it all away, but you just got back from a very nice little travel, and I want to know, what is one absolute learning moment that you've taken away from that travel that you can put into your career and your life right now?
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
U-turn.
Yes. I didn't plan this question until I started seeing you post your pictures, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna sideswipe Maggie with this question.
I love it. So anyone who knows me well knows I love to travel. It's just something that I just love to do. I think it's so important to get out and see the world. And this trip in particular, I just went to Indonesia for 2 weeks, and it was the longest I've ever taken off work. I was really stressed about it, but it went well. It had a great time. It was beautiful. I think the overwhelming feeling I got being there was that every single person that I met, me and my boyfriend went on the trip, every single person we met, we both were like, oh my gosh, everyone's so happy. And I think it really put into perspective, everyone has their job and their career here back in, the States. Not to say that other people don't have jobs and careers over in different parts of the world, but we here in America put so much emphasis and pressure on our career. Sometimes it's like top in people's priorities. And life's just not supposed to be that way. You go other places where people don't have the stress of a corporate 9 to 5, or they just are happy and content with a simple lifestyle, and being around that energy and that kind of consensus of everyone just having a smile on their face, enjoying their day, going about life, not stressing about deadlines or KPIs or whatever it may be. It you could feel it. Like you could feel it in
Yeah.
your core. And so I have a stressful job, but I love it. I love stress sometimes. But it also makes you realize like I am wasting so much energy and time out of my day, out of my life, whatever it may be, being stressed about something that I don't need to stress about. There's lots of things that are out of my control. As long as I show up and do the best I can every day and be the best version of myself, like that's all I can do. And if, in the world of public education, there's so many things to stress about. I feel like
Yeah.
public education has a lot going on in it right now, and sometimes I feel the weight of it on my shoulders, and I have to tell myself like I'm not going to solve the crisis in public education some days. I'm not going to solve every single problem that any parent has when they call to
Yeah.
complain about something. Like I'm going to do the best I can to show up and provide the best level of service I can, but my job is my job, and what matters is who you are, your values, who you are as a person, and the rest of your life outside of your work. So I think that's what I took away from the trip, and just trying to have a balanced life where the priority isn't work. I want to be a good employee, but the priority isn't
Yeah.
work. And that's hard to say
Awesome.
because
So
I am a career person.
yeah. So to make this a full circle moment that I did not plan on, I'm going to go back to my very first
Okay.
statement of you were courageous to change jobs because you understood intrinsically
Mhm.
that you weren't happy. So
Yeah.
one for me, boss.
Yeah. You're welcome. I just served that on a silver platter.
Right on a platter. Right on a platter. Nicely done. All right.
Happiness
So
is key.
happiness, it is key. I wished I would have known that a long time ago. And I wish for everyone listening to, no matter what age we are, to keep
Yeah.
that in mind. We just never know. I've gotten to that age, Maggie, where I'm now, you just never know.
Hey now.
What tomorrow brings, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. Time for my curious questions. So,
Okay.
there's 5 of them. They're one-word answers or one-sentence answers or one paragraph. Your choice. I won't respond much. I have troubles not responding, but we'll see what I can do here. So we'll start with an easy one. Your favorite holiday?
Oh, Christmas. Duh.
Christmas.
I'm a Christmas fanatic.
Oh, duh, she says. Okay. So the travel bug has hit you. So a place that you absolutely need to visit in the next 10 years that you haven't been to.
Egypt. It is on the list. Yeah.
That was my place the first time I asked that question. So yes.
I love that.
All right. Here you go. A time period in history or the future of the universe that you would like to visit for one day.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Rapid fire. Probably the 50s or I'm going to say the 40s. I really love like bandstand, big band music. And I would have loved to be back in like the Glenn Miller days and go to just like a fun big band event and put on a cool dress and have a little nice party with the big band.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Favorite book you've ever read?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Should have given me a heads up on these.
Well, this is the best part.
I'd say my favorite book I've ever read, or the one that really stuck with me, was called The Comfort Crisis. It was by Michael Easter, and it talks about how, we could do hard things, and we could push ourselves outside of our comfort zone. And us as a society, in a modern day society, we are in areas where it's like we have temperature control, we have automatic cars, we have life is so easy for us that we've forgotten how to have a little grit. And so it just is a book about reminding us that,
Yep.
we can push out of our comfort zone to do challenging things.
Yep.
Super great book,
Awesome.
highly recommend.
I like that. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, last one. The one food that makes you think of home.
Ooh. Okay, this is gonna be weird. It's not like my favorite food, but it makes me think of home.
Yep,
Our
that's why
family was our family was really big on Papa Murphy's pizza. They're still really big on it. Like the $12 Tuesday or whatever. Like we just grew up on Papa Murphy's pizza, and we still have it every year for Christmas Eve is always Papa Murphy's pizza. So that is
That's
a
awesome.
home food. Yes.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Now it's your turn.
Okay.
The show is yours. I'm really not sure why I've included this in my show, because it always backfires on me, but the show is yours. Did I miss something? Or is there anything you would like to add? Or do you have a question for me?
I do. I feel like we've talked about my experience with mentorship. What would be your most impactful mentor that you had?
Yeah. The most impactful would be I'm going to say it's Ray LeBate. He was the principal at Cedar Crest, and he was assistant principal. He was legit pain in the ass, and I love him to death like a big brother. But I think he was he was a good mentor for me, because he never let the fact that we would argue or not get along or have a big disagreement affect us in any way, shape, or form. And
that's important.
I think it really is. And sometimes, I mean, we kind of are two ends of a spectrum in a lot of things. But I think we also worked, well together. But he just taught me, he taught me a lot of things about administration, both good and bad. Do like him on this one thing. Don't do like him on this thing. And so he was, I think in the end, probably my biggest mentor in that field. And I had along the way countless people that were mentors, but he was probably the longest one as well, and I think that's a little bit of it. So
longevity can grow a relationship.
And like I say, I love him to death. I do. But we had our moments.
I think that's important though. Like I think some of my strongest mentors I also butt heads with too. So it's the balance of being able to be raw and unfiltered with someone and get true, honest communication.
Yeah, I think you actually prove that you are connected when you can do that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
cool. And then respect each other at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's bald, so I'm not sure I completely respect him, but
Hey, what about you? Where's that
hat? I got there. I have to wear a hat because the light will shine off my forehead.
I'm just teasing.
Darn hair things. All right. Last thing before I let you go.
Okay.
One piece of advice that you would give a new teacher.
Oh, I feel like I would tell the teacher that they have so much more of an impact than they know. and to take every single relationship with every single one of their students seriously. And, everyone's going to have
Yep.
their favorites, sure, but like even the kiddo that is not your favorite or maybe you don't get along with, you have the power and the ability to change that kid's life in any way, shape, or form. Like I have teachers from elementary school that I still reference when I think about the pivotal moments in my life that changed me for the better. And that
Yep.
was 9 months out of a year when I was 10, So
Yep.
like you have the power to change someone's life with how you show up for them. And to take that seriously. There's going to be good days and bad days, but just remember you are that person that the kids look up to as a validated adult, and they're looking for that validation, and you owe it to them to give it to them every day.
Yep. Well said. Thank you so much. That was perfect. So,
Thanks.
Maggie Gronberg, I cannot thank you enough for doing this for me. You hit every mark. You've always amazed me. I won't forget the first day I saw you in that office uh, um, with Dr. Leach's office there, and I my big
Yeah.
shaggy COVID hair came around the corner, and it took you a millisecond to realize who that homeless looking guy was, but
Stop.
your breath of fresh air is always amazing. So
Thanks.
I appreciate you doing this with me.
Thanks. And can I just say, it's been such a pleasure to not only have you in my life as a student, as an advisor, and as someone I looked up to, but then being able to be your coworker and now your friend on the flip side of it. So it's just been an incredible journey. I'm so thankful for you. And I'm so happy you are doing a podcast. Yay.
You should be. All the work you've created for me. Cool. All right. You stay out of trouble, and
Yes.
obviously we will keep in touch.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, R.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Maggie. Appreciate the conversation. Talking to you is always a breath of fresh air. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys consider being a mentor. Have you ever thought of being a mentor to kids or adults? I think, quite frankly, when you're a mentor to somebody, you learn both ways. uh, the person you're mentoring learns, but as a mentor, you also learn a lot. So give it a shot. Um, you know, as we move forward, as always, if you have questions, concerns, comments, would like to be on the show, give me a message. A little typewriter thing. My email, I have questions 2025 at gmail.com, and let me know. So that would be awesome, as they say. As as we get ready to wrap up today, just a quick little chronic illness update. I don't do them very often anymore. I don't want to completely bore you because, quite frankly, nothing seems to ever change. So, still sick, still not working, still relying on Sarah and Brian to basically do everything, drive me around. I'm useless, more or less, more useless than normal. How's that? Anyway, nothing much has changed. Big battle right now is the blood pressure. Not what most of us consider. It is not too high. My blood pressure is way too low, and we're trying to get that to raise. And so, one of the issues we're having is I shared with you a while back that the nerve endings are dead from the virus. And, your nerve endings run your blood pressure, a lot of your blood pressure. And most of the medications they use to raise blood pressure activate the nerves. And so if you don't have nerves, tough to activate them. So you learn something new every day about that. So, yep, just keep trudging along, hoping for the best. So, anyway, hope you all have a great week. Stay out of trouble, and thanks for listening. So, have a good one. PS, by the way. PS. So this one's a nice quick one. I think I was reading National Geographic or something. I watch a lot of documentaries nowadays. They're easy to tune out for me. Reading is a little tougher. Anyway, forget where I got it from. I think it was a documentary now that I think about it. And years and years ago, I shared with a bunch of people that the Red River that runs through North Dakota and up into Canada was one of the few to only rivers in the United States that drains north. The Red River Valley drains north, and it happens to drain into Hudson Bay. Well, I have learned something really cool about Hudson Bay. So it's, number one, gigantic. But Hudson Bay is going to go away. Not in our lifetime. So don't worry. You got plenty of time to go see it. Hudson Bay isn't going to drain out of the bay. What happened, and this is amazing, during the last ice age, the glaciers were so heavy that they compacted the land under them. And then when they melted, that land created this depression that turned into Hudson Bay. Well, Hudson Bay is starting to, well, not starting to, it has been, but it is uncompacting. I don't know what the word for that would be. It's rebounding from being crushed. And so every single year it gains about an inch. And, in, I don't even know, thousands and thousands of years, the land is going to continue to expand and get back to its original form. And as it does that, Hudson Bay is going to go away. So in thousands of years, there will not be Hudson Bay anymore. Canada will be even larger landmass where nobody lives up there. So those darn glaciers, crazy, huh? All right, enough of that. So have a good one. Peace, love, on.
This has been a production of SMEB LC Enterprises. Please give us a thumbs up, share us with others, and come back next week for another leg of our journey. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time and energy with us today. This is also a great time to reach out to someone in your life and just ask them, how are you doing? Don't wait until next week. And remember, it is always powerful to say, I have questions.